Hey guys, welcome to this live by Intellipaat. I am Ram and I will be the one that is covering the session today. So in today's session, we'll be learning about Tableau. We'll learn it and we will see how a beginner can learn it step by step. So before we begin with it, don't forget to hit subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any of our future updates. Now let's take a quick look at our agenda. So first, we'll be discussing what business intelligence itself is. Now, we'll need to know what business intelligence is to understand what Tableau is. Once we have an idea of what business intelligence is, then we can go ahead and learn why do we need to learn about business intelligence? Why is it so important? How can it help us? Then we'll have a proper introduction to Tableau where we will discuss what it is and why do we need to use it. And then we will have a step-by-step guide on how you can go ahead and learn Tableau for yourself. Then we will discuss what are the different skills a Tableau developer needs to know when he is going to become a Tableau developer. Now there are a set of skills you'll need to know if you're going to become a Tableau developer. And then finally we will conclude by discussing the learning path for Tableau developer. Like what are the things you need? What are the things you need to learn so that you can become a really good Tableau developer? Okay. Now, before we start, if you guys follow me till the end, then there is a surprise waiting for you. Okay. I promise this. Now, let's start with what is business intelligence. Now, when the name itself comes into your mind, business intelligence, what do you think of it? It's basically very self-explanatory. It's intelligence in business. Now, when you're working in today's industry, you see that there is a lot of data everywhere. From buying groceries to big oil drills, everything produces data. And companies make full use of this fact by applying basically a lot of concepts to analyze this data that they've collected. They convert this raw data into meaningful information that can then help them to increase their business profits. All right. So business intelligence is basically going to help a company to discover the data that they are trafficking. Like if a company has an application and the data flows through it, that is being trafficked through it, then they can record this data and then figure out meaningful patterns and trends that they can then use to increase the efficiency of whether they develop an application or how they can sell more products, etc. And this is why data can be very important when working in the business intelligence field. And that's where business intelligence comes. There are multiple business intelligence tools out there that help you to analyze this data. There are multiple concepts also in BI. There are basically like processing the data, collecting the data, storing the data and analyzing it and then visualizing it so that you can find out meaningful information and then use that information to optimize your performance. Now, BI, business intelligence, basically helps us to figure out decisions that we need. It helps us to figure out these decisions that we need to increase our profits and make a better business model altogether. Now, let's discuss the business tools. When it comes to picking which business tool you want to use, like there are like many business tools out there, and based on your needs, you'll need to choose a specific one. So we provided here a criteria, and based on this criteria, you can decide for yourself which one you need to use. Basically, think of what you need and check out the criteria here. So first criteria is availability and usage. Now you need to check which version of the tool is available, like how easily is it available, is it very useful to you or not. That's where usage comes in. You need to figure out whether this particular tool is useful to you or not. So check out its features, its functions, and if you think you can use those features and functions, then go ahead and choose the tool. Then coming to the second criteria, it should be easy to learn and easy to use. Now, if you want more developers to get an easy start with the new business intelligence tools, then you need to make sure that the tool is very easy to learn. If it's very difficult to learn, then it will take a lot of time to train your employees or train yourself if you're using it by yourself. And it needs to be easy to use so that you don't mess up anywhere. Like if it's a more simple user interface, then you'll remember everything about the user interface. Now that comes down to the quality of the product overall. And that's where we come to the third criteria, that is the quality of data visualization. Now the quality of data visualization varies from one tool to another. So you need to make sure that the tool you want to use has the best visualizations out there. Like if I can give you an example, Tableau has like really good looking visualizations and you can customize them to death. You can use whichever customization you want, customize according to your need, change this degree here, this degree there, and etc. etc. And then finally coming to cost and ease of setup. You need to know what is the cost of it. If it's not a free software, then you need to know whether it's how expensive it is. But even if it's costly, can you afford it? Will you get a good ROI? Will you get a good return of investment? If you're paying only $100, do you get a good investment of $1,000? Or do you only get an investment of, do you get only a reward of $100 again? So if you are working with this tool and you're paying a monthly subscription of $100 a month and you only get $100 of profit out of that, then it's not very useful, because it cancels each other out. So you need to make sure that the tool you're using is very cost effective for you. Okay, now let's move on to the next thing. Why do we need to learn business intelligence? Now there are a few factors and we'll discuss why we need to learn, why we need to get into business intelligence and learn all the concepts and tools within it. So let's start off with what business intelligence helps us in. Now, key performance indicator. So if you use any business intelligence tool, it will basically give you a very good feedback of how well you're working or how well your company is performing. Because you always need to have some kind of feedback to realize whether you're making any mistakes or not. You don't want to be stuck in your own bubble and think that you're working really great, even though you're not. You always need a feedback. There should be a feedback loop. And this is where business intelligence tools can come in handy. They let you know whether you performed really great this quarter or not. If you didn't, then where did you falter? Where was the issue? Then you find that issue out, then you fix that issue. And this way, it can basically be a very important key performance indicator. It gives you, it indicates the performance of your service or product or your company, etc. Then process benchmarking. You can set goals and then achieve those goals. Now, using business intelligence tools, you can decide, you can read through the data you're getting already and then decide your future goals. And you're benchmarking these goals and then you're achieving these goals later onwards. And these are one of the few of the two factors that help you realize why you need business intelligence or business intelligence tools. It also helps you to drive your sales higher. When you discover your data, basically when you query it, when you go through your data, when you understand your data, you can go ahead and increase your efficiency because you understand your data. Then you can figure out its issues and then fix those issues and hence drive your sales higher. Now let's take an example. Like if you were working for an food delivery app and you collected all the data and you want to increase your profits. So you will see like what data you have collected. Suppose you have collected data on how fast the delivery people go and deliver it, and you see in which location they can deliver it faster. And you go and figure out why are they delivering faster in this location only. And when you find that factor out, you can use it in other locations also. And that way you can increase your sales. And then comes business problems. It can basically help you to figure out if or where that loss is happening. If you have a loss, then it will help you figure out why that loss is happening. You will first read through your data. You will have an understanding of your data. Then you will realize, okay, this is the problem I have, and then you will fix that problem. So this way, it is a very good thing if you're using any business intelligence tools to help you out in your business. Or if you're just a developer, then you need to understand these details to know why you're creating business intelligence things. Or if you're a fresher, then you need to know a little bit about a market. And if you're getting into business intelligence tools, then this is also important. You need to know why you're going to get into it. Why do people demand? Why is there such a high demand for these many people working with business intelligence? Okay, so business intelligence for a developer. So if we talk about why we need business intelligence, why a person would need to know about business intelligence. Suppose you're a fresher, or suppose you are in a very tight fit. If you're at a dead end job and if you want to get out of that dead end job, you think you don't have any career forward, or if you're a fresher and you don't have any skills with you at that moment, and you want to do something new that earns a lot of money, then business intelligence for a developer is very good. There's a very high demand out there. Many big enterprises are hiring a lot of different business intelligence people for different roles. It's in very high demand, and there's a lot of jobs out there for this particular purpose. Now, obviously, there are so many companies out there, and they want to improve upon their already existing framework. So when they're doing that, they will use some kind of business intelligence tools for that fact, and they will hire people who have knowledge on the particular platform. So suppose if you're working with Oracle Business Intelligence Enterprise Edition, then the company will hire a person who has knowledge on it. And if that person has knowledge, they will pay them a high salary for that purpose, because he is important to the company. And that's why if you're getting into business intelligence, it's a very good idea. If you're getting into the whole field of business, and if you come from a CS background, then this can be very important, very useful for you. Even if you don't come from a CS background, this can be very helpful for you. You just have to understand a few concepts here and there, and then you can get into business intelligence field. Now let's have an introduction to Tableau. Now we talked so much about business intelligence. I was just talking about business intelligence, why we need it, what do we need it. So this should give you an idea of what Tableau does. It's not exactly what every other business intelligence tool does, but it does a major part of it. That is visualization. Visualization can be very important to have when you are working with large data sets. Now, let's think about it. You have large sets of data. If you have a very big enterprise company, like let's take Amazon, they have outlets, or I would say they have branches everywhere in the world, and they deliver product almost everywhere. So they must have incredible amounts of data. We're talking about such large amounts of data that you cannot even think about it. Like, it's just hard to think about it. So how do you handle such large data, and how do you find meaningful insights in this sort of data? So to find meaningful insights or find new patterns and trends, you need to divide the data, and then finally you need to process it, analyze it, and then finally you need to visualize it. Once you visualize your data, you get a clear understanding of what that data represents. And visualization psychologically feels good to humans. Now, if you look at raw data, like if you see an Excel sheet with all the fields like geolocation, which sale was made, what date and all, you look at it and you'll get bored. You'll just look at it and your mind will wander off. You'll start thinking about something you saw today in the morning, or Game of Thrones. You'll start thinking of those kind of things. But when you look at visualizations are very appealing to human beings. We are built to look at colorful things. So it's an evolutionary thing. It's a whole another thing I don't want to get into, but take this as an understanding that humans really like to look at colorful visualizations. And if you mix this with important business data, then you get something very useful. You create really appealing visualizations of the data you've collected, and you can very easily figure out any particular patterns just by looking at it. You don't have to go ahead and use artificial intelligence to figure out these patterns. You can just look at it and you'll be like, okay, yeah, I understand that if there's a pie chart, and in that pie chart, there is that pie chart basically describes the shares in the market from my particular product. If my product is mobiles, it will show that that pie chart will show how much share of the market I have. And then I will realize, it'll take me only a second, but if I looked at a long sheet of data, then I won't realize it. So this is how visualizations can be very useful when we're working with business intelligence or anything. Visualizations are really something amazing. And that's where Tableau comes in. Tableau helps us to create these amazing visuals. And it basically is it's very intuitive. It takes your data. It can take data from various sources, from various different formats. It can take them, and then it can use that data and visualize it. So it's very good at that fact. It's a very powerful business intelligence tool in the matter of fact that it helps us to get very good insights into our product, our service, our data, whatever we will provide. So people in business sometimes won't even have enough time to look at all these sheets of data. So that's another reason why you can have visualizations and be happy. So that way, if you wanted to show what you've done over your quarterly, if you suppose you worked for a quarter in a month, and you want to show your progress, or you want to show progress of how the day of your application, then rather than showing someone just a few lines of written statements, you can show them graphs. People can look at graphs from far away and realize, okay, yeah, he's done really good, and I can see that my company is working really well. If I see you guys must have seen that graphic used a lot, where the line graph goes top, it goes from bottom to top and then again top, which shows a success, which shows success of your particular company or whatever you're working with. So that's how Tableau can be very useful. It can help us to create visualizations that we can use to figure out meaningful insights and observations that we can again use to increase the profits we have, or basically increase the efficiency of our product or service, etc., etc. Now, when you're working with Tableau, Tableau has two sets of tools. Like, you have your developer tools. When you want data analytics out of Tableau, you have two sets of tools in there. You have your development tools and your share tools. So development tools will basically help you to create dashboards, charts, reports, visualizations, and share tools will help you to share all of the dashboards, charts, and visualizations that you have created. Now, sharing is as important as developing. Maybe not that important, but it is important, because if you just create new items but you don't share it with anyone, then what's the point of it, right? So you have developer tools as well as share tools. Now let's talk about how Tableau works. So in this simple graph, you can see that data in Excel format or CSV format or simple access or text format, whatever it is, that data source is connected to Tableau. Basically, that Tableau points to that data and figures out this data exists, and then it takes that data and creates visualizations or dashboards based on queries that we keep in. So if there is a data set and I only want specific part of those data, like let's take the example of food delivery app again. I have collected data on all the how long it takes for delivery people to go and deliver the product. So in that data collection, I want to figure out only data for those people who go to a particular location. If they go to Delhi, then I want information about people going to Delhi. Is this an example about delivery people going to Delhi? So that will be a query. I'll query it and then I will visualize it. And then I will only display the data of what I want. And then you visualize it. And finally, you can go ahead and publish that data. It doesn't end on visualizations. You have to go ahead and publish this data so that you can share it with other people, so that they also can see what's happening. If you work in teams, or if you have a very huge company and you want to impress someone, or if you have a deadline where people have where your boss has asked you to show you what is the end result, give you a feedback of that particular application you created, then you can easily just send that link to him and he'll be able to see the dashboard that you've created or the visualization you've created. And that's where, then this is how Tableau works. This is a very, very basic understanding of how Tableau works. If you go into detail, you'll find a lot more concepts out there that you need to know when you're working with Tableau. But it's still easy. It is one of the easiest visualization tools to use. You just need to start it up and there you have it. You can use it even without going through a guide. You can get a basic understanding without even having a guide of your own. Let's talk about an example. So I talked about that food delivery app before. Now let's talk about Netflix. How Netflix could you go ahead and use a visualization tool, or Tableau in our case. So let's talk about the data that Netflix collects. So data that Netflix would collect is events data and operations data. Now events data basically talks about all the things that Netflix is doing. If it releases a new show, if it releases The Witcher, or if it releases a new show Dracula, then that counts as an event. And when it's going to release, where it's going to release, all those kinds of data will come in events. And then you have operational data of how that data will be released. and how fast it can release those kind of things of data. So for events data, you'll use one of the components like Kafka, but operations you'll use Cassandra. And once Netflix has collected all of this data, it will store it in Amazon S3 bucket, where S3 is used for storing very, very, very large data sets. Now we know Netflix is there everywhere in the world, like almost everywhere, or mostly most of the big countries. But most of the big countries have such a large population that they're bound to produce the data, right? More and more data, so that those large sets of data can be stored using Amazon S3, and then they can be sent to fast storage, where you want to select only subset of that large data. Now suppose, let's say that Netflix has collected events and operations data from all around the world, and in all around the world there are major countries like America, Canada, China, Russia, and India, and a lot more countries like UK, Europe, the whole Europe, and all of that data from all of these countries will be stored in S3. But what if they only wanted to see data from particular India? Then they would use one of Amazon Redshift or Teradata Druid to check out only a subset of that large data, only that particular data that they want to check out. Then you have data processors that basically help you to process all of this data. Now, each of these particular tools that have been mentioned, Hadoop, Spark, Presto, and Beehive, and Pig, these tools basically help you to they basically help Netflix to process such large amounts of data. They're highly optimized to process all of this data. And then data services, which basically help you to transmit the data from here and there. Then you have data exploration. Now you already know about this if you have some idea of the whole data science field, where you're using R, we're using Jupyter Notebook, Python, Portal for exploring the data. You are basically analyzing the data, creating graphs, and you're running algorithms to figure out about the whole nature of that data. And once you've done that, once Netflix has done that, then it will basically go ahead and visualize that sort of data. It will visualize using Tableau. Tableau is a very good visualization tool, and a lot of companies use it. Especially, you can see that here in this example, Netflix uses it, and they create these visualizations that will help them to figure out. Since we took the example of India, let me talk about it again. So once they've collected India's data, once they've processed it, once they've analyzed that data in data exploration, now they want to they want to create visualization of it so that they can show it to the top dogs of the company, or those people who have a lot of power in the company and they have the deciding power. So to show them, you can't just show like a lot of algorithms and math equations and all. You need to show them visualizations, because they have very less time, and to get their attention, you'll need to create something bold, something interesting to look at, and that's where you come in data visualization. And it's not necessarily that you always have to impress someone or you have to get someone's attention. It's nice to have data visualization so you yourself can make meaningful insights and observations and make the changes you want to make after you've understood the data. And this is how Netflix would use Tableau. Now let's talk about step-by-step learning in Tableau for a beginner. Now, there are a few steps, we'll talk about them. If you had an overview of it, you'll have like exploration of the whole thing. You'll have basics of analytics, where you learn basics of analytics. Then you'll learn about the different Tableau services there are. There are different multiple Tableau services, and you'll learn which one do you want to use, how will you use it, and etc. Then you have data handling, where you will understand how you will handle the data, how will you process it, how will you make it less unruly. Then you will create a data model out of it. And then finally, after you created that model, you visualize it, and then you learn how to publish and share it. So let's talk about all of these things step by step, how you would go ahead and learn them step by step. So as a beginner, what you can do is you can first start to explore why you want Tableau. Like if you've clicked on this video, you must have at least heard of what Tableau is, or maybe you like Intellipaat a lot, but that's really nice. But you must know something about Tableau, right? So you have Tableau over here. Why do you want Tableau? I've explained to you already what Tableau is. I've explained to you what business intelligence tools are and why do you need to know them. But you yourself have to understand why it's for you. Are you very interested in this topic? Why are you going to be choosing this particular field? You need to ask those questions to yourself. You need to ask yourself those questions so that you can understand why you're here, why you're watching, and why you want to pursue this particular idea. But if you are, then that's the very good first step. That is a part of your step one. Explore what Tableau can do for you. You understood what Tableau is. Now you can apply that to your whole life and think, okay, I was working this way, and now I want to shift to this particular skill, or I'm a fresher, I want to start up, and I see that people are working with Tableau a lot, then I need to start with it. I need to start learning about it. So you can first decide what can I do with Tableau service as a consumer. So you can first try practicing it with it. Like think about it, how it would help you as a consumer. Like take the consumer's mindset and think why the consumer would need it. The consumer can be anyone. It can be a basic client. It can be a corporate boss or anything. Then try and view the content in Tableau. Like check out the visualizations. Now Tableau has very good examples. You can check on Google. You can see what all different visualizations there are. Check them out. If you think you really like them, that's really nice. Then you can move forward and learn Tableau. Then explore the dashboards, reports, and apps in Tableau. If you feel that it's really good, then that's nice. If you think you can create better, then that's a really good challenge for you. If you see other people's dashboards and you think you can create a much better dashboard, then that's a very good thing, because then you can use that knowledge to create those better dashboards and show that as an example. You can, if somebody asks you why should I take you for Tableau, then you can tell them, see, this is the dashboard that this particular professional company came up with, but I think it could have been done better, and this is what I've created, and go ahead and judge me. So they'll think over it and they'll decide, oh yeah, he's working really hard, at least he's taken an initiative. Then I should consider as him being my employee. And this we can get more jobs. You can go and apply for jobs and get jobs. And then you can collaborate and share. If you are into the whole open community thing, then you can share things you've created. You want to share the nice visualizations on some idea you come up with. Now, if you take an example of Reddit, there's a particular subreddit called Beautiful Data. In this beautiful data subreddit, people share beautiful visualizations they've created based on their real life data. They're not people from corporates or something. They just people who like visualizations a lot, and they just want to show others also that, yeah, check out my visualization, it's really nice, right? Yeah, so you can do that also. You can share the really nice visualizations, or like a really cool concept you've come up with, or something you've discovered through visualization, or something you've discovered through analysis. You can share it with other people, collaborate with other people. You can form a team, bond, and then create those products that you want to. Then you can find and view dashboards and reports and etc. Now let's talk about the step 2, learn basics of Tableau. Learn what are the different components of Tableau there are. Like there's Tableau Desktop, made for individual use. There's Tableau Server for collaborations for organization. You have Tableau Online for business intelligence on cloud. And you have Tableau Reader, used to read Tableau Desktop saved files. And then you have Tableau Public, used to publish interactive data online or to cloud. Now learn which one you think you'll be most successful as a Tableau developer, or you think that it will help you out. Then get started with Tableau. Like the first step to learn is you have to put your foot in and learn. You got to practice. You got to practice. Only then that's how you learn. Do more projects. Take a project up and start doing it. Even if you don't know anything, just start doing it, because then you'll slowly start learning about it, and then you'll familiarize yourself with Tableau. Now start with smaller projects so that you can understand what you're doing. Like if you take a really big project, then you'll just get tired and you'll just close the Tableau desktop and you just go back to your bed. So make sure you take like smaller projects so that you can go ahead and understand Tableau's components. Now I told you that Tableau is simple to use, but you still have to, like, if you get to know how to use it really well, then you can have a really great potential over there. So use small projects, learn the other very multiple building blocks of Tableau, and then apply them. Then data connection. Now you know about data, right? Now you handle data, you're creating data models. Now you need to know how you can connect to a particular data set, the data models you've created, and connect it to Tableau. Have an introduction, like if you introduce, think about what data modeling is, how can you manage that data, how can you optimize these data models, explore that data in depth. And once you've finally basically clean that data off, process it off, you know what you want, that final data, then you can go ahead and create visualization of it. Analyze that data. Again, talking about how you can filter that data, you can view that data, ask the questions about your data. What kind of data output do you want out of that data you've collected? Apply filters to it to create beautiful reports. And finally, use visuals in Tableau. Then after you've done learning all of those things, you start on step 1, then step 3 where you get learning and data connection, then you slowly building up. So once you realize how once you familiarize yourself with Tableau, once you've understood what Tableau tool you want to use, once you understood what data you want to use, go ahead with the visuals. So now you know which tool, which component of Tableau you want to use. You know how to use it because you familiarize yourself, and you know what data you want to use, and then go ahead with the visuals. Create simple visualizations, and that way you learn more and more. And then finally you can go ahead and create these really nice looking dashboards that will help you out. And then finally, once you've created a project, or if you've done some work, go ahead and publish it, share it with people, make them show them that you can make really nice this thing. Create a portfolio of everything you've created. If you think it's really good, then I'm pretty sure that the person on the other side will also think so. Or if he doesn't think so, then you get a criticism. You get, okay, you can do this better. Then you'll understand that, and then you can apply that and learn it, and then create better dashboards or visualizations. Now, if you summarize it, first you will understand what Tableau can do for you, understand what it will help you out, then learn the basics of Tableau, then get started with the building blocks, familiarize yourself with, and then get data, understand your data you'll be working with, model it, then use visuals to create, really nice dashboards based on the data you've modeled, and then share it. And then you can go ahead and become a Tableau master. If you've gone through all of these steps, you'll understand every detail of how you can work with Tableau. Obviously, you won't have all the knowledge even then, but you will know that you can go ahead and become a very successful Tableau developer. Now, let's talk about learning path with Tableau Developer. So Tableau Developer, let's talk about how can you what are the skills you'll need as a Tableau developer. So one of the few skills you'll need is basically understanding data. A Tableau developer will basically create computer systems and data visualization solutions to improve the business process. You need to be able to sell to the other side, to the employer, that you are going to help them to create the best business model out there by creating these really good looking visualizations or dashboards. Or you need to basically, it will not be the only thing you'll be doing. Visualization and analysis is not the only thing you'll be doing. You'll be creating better business frameworks that will help the company prosper even more. This job will involve tasks such as creating dashboards, working with developers, understanding the whole data, creating business intelligence reports, and then visualizations, and giving the feedback so that the whole system can be improved. Now, there are a few tools you'll need to know other than Tableau also if you're going to be a Tableau developer, because a Tableau developer won't only know one tool. He must know, or he should know, or have a basic idea of how to work with other tools, because you're not going to see every company work with Tableau, but having Tableau as a base is very good. You can get to know the basics of Oracle Business Intelligence or Power BI, Microsoft SQL Server reporting services, which you basically use to generate reports, and then SQL Server integration services. It's a platform for building enterprise level data integrations. Then you have ETL frameworks that basically stand for extract, transform, load frameworks. Then you need to know a little bit about OLAP, which is basically used for approaching to get an answer for multi-dimensional analytic queries. Don't get too overwhelmed with all of these tools. Start off with Tableau. You can then join a company as a junior Tableau developer. And then finally, when you reach after 6 years or something, you'll know all of these tools by yourself. You'll definitely get to know them. But if you do know a little bit about these tools, then it's good. Then you have more chances of getting a job. But remember, a Tableau developer who knows how he can help improve, how he can help improve the particular company will be in high demand. If you can help, if you tell the company, I can help you improve your business framework, then they are more ready to hire you for that purpose. Now, for a developer, he needs to know the basic W's, that is basically what, why, and when, how, all of those things about data analysis. So you'll need to have some idea of data analysis also. You'll need to have basics of maths and statistics, because that's what you'll be using. It's not completely based on maths and statistics, but you'll be using it here and there. Then data blending techniques, which is basically make data more clean, and database technologies. If you have an idea about how databases work, then that's good. And then finally, data visualization. Now, if you can have a fundamental knowledge about all of these three things, basic W's of data analysis, basic mathematics and statistics, and data blending techniques and database technologies, you don't need to be perfect at them. Nobody is perfect. We are humans. So make sure you have some kind of understanding. Always look at the logical approach. You know that your employer, or if you're going to find a job on Tableau developing, you know that the developer won't ask you if you know all of these perfectly or not. You need to tell them that you can understand it and you have a basic understanding, and you can obviously work much harder, and you can help them to improve their company. If you are able to sell yourself like that, then everyone be able to will take you a job, will take you as an employee. And then we have, let's talk about the average salary. That's the most important thing. Companies pay people who know Tableau and a few similar services a lot of money just so that they can help them improve their whole framework. Like if you look at the junior Tableau developer salary in America itself, it's $75,000 a year. It's not six figure, but even though you're a junior Tableau developer, you're getting paid $75,000. In India, it's not any less. When we talk about standards, America standards a little bit higher, so it all cancels out. In India, you have 7 LPA. As a fresher, can you imagine like getting 7 LPA? You're getting 60,000 in hand every month. And as a senior Tableau developer, you will be paid immensely. You will get a 6-figure salary, and an average salary in America is $100,000. Can you imagine $100,000? And even in India, it's a very good salary, 17 lakhs per annum. Any person earning 17 lakhs per annum is set for life. They don't have to worry about anything anymore. So that was about the salary. Now let's go have a little bit demo on Tableau. Let's talk a little bit about Tableau. Let's use it so you guys get a basic understanding, so that you can use this opportunity and go ahead and learn Tableau by yourself. So first of all, open up Tableau. You can use the trial version. And then, so what we are going to be doing is we're basically going to be a .xls file. It's a Microsoft Excel file. So let me just click on that, and let me get this sample data set. So it's a superstore data set. It's basically a data set on a very big store, which has a lot of details in it. So I've uploaded it. As you can see, it takes me to these sheets over here. So these sheets are basically all the data that they have collected, the super data they have collected, all of the large scale data set they have collected. So as you can see, as I dragged it to this particular location, it showed me all the data. I can double click on it. I can click here also. On the right hand side, I can see the data here also. You can see as you can see, the scroll is very small. That means the data is very large. We're not going to go through it. I'm just going to show you what it is about. Like there's row ID, order date, ship mode, etc. There's like basically details about people buying from their particular superstore, which country they're going to buy it from, what kind of customer it is, where they're buying it from, region, country, state, product ID, what they're buying, what kind of category is it, what kind of subcategory is it, is it furniture, then it's going to be, is it a bookcase or not, product name, etc. So that's your order over here. So let's play a little with this sheet. So I'm going to click on the sheet one. As you can see, my data is already here. So there are two things here, dimensions and measures. So dimensions basically describe the data. Now there are a lot of fields if you saw here in data source, like category, subcategory. So subcategory and category are basically columns that describe the data. Like category tells you what kind of product it is it a furniture or not, etc. And measures basically quantify the product. Like how many sales did you make, how much profit was there, discount, quantity, latitude, longitude, etc. So now let's let's talk about hierarchy first. So let's talk about hierarchy. So hierarchy in Tableau, when you talk about dimensions, is basically logical grouping. So logical grouping is basically, if you think about some of these dimensions here, they can be put together. So country and city can be put together. Why? Because they're part of location. They describe the location of the particular record, particular customer. That customer is from this city and this country. Also guys, this data is from America, so the city and country will be from America. So now let's do a logical grouping of something else. So I'm going to logically group my subcategory with, one second. I'm going to do a logical grouping of my subcategory with my category. One second, guys. All right. So as you can see, my category and subcategory are now grouped together. Now I'm going to call this product. So this hierarchy is called product. So I've created a hierarchy now, which has category and subcategory in it. Now I want to start right away. I want to create a graph. So I'm going to put category. I'm actually going to take category over here and put it under columns. So I've put a category under columns here now, and I'm going to take sales and put it in rows. So as you can see, I immediately get a graph. Like I didn't have to define y-axis, x-axis. All I did was tell Tableau what the column is going to be and what the row is going to be. My row column was category and subcategory. So as you can see, if I minus this, it will only show me category. So there is category furniture, office supplies, and how many sales were there? There were 800,000 sales for technology-based products. And in subcategory, you can see those appliances, whatever product was sold. So this is how you can create graphs very easily. If you want, you can choose different graphs also. On the side, you can see there is a multiple things you can choose here. You can choose this kind of graph. You can choose bar graphs with different colors. So let's just stick to our normal graphs here itself. Yeah. So this is a graph you can create on it. And if you wanted, you can filter this data out also. Now, if I want to filter this data, what I can do is, if I want to filter this data based on region, so I'm going to select my region and put it under marks. So now you can see that there is small groups. Why are these small groups there? These small groups are there because I have basically filtered all of these data based on region. Now region, there are 4 regions: west, east, north, and south. So if I put them on color, I can see now there are color based distribution. And you can see the legend over here. There is central there were a lot of sales for chairs in central. There were a lot of sales for phones in the east location, etc. So this is how you can create your graphs really easily. You can, if you go into detail, there are a lot more things you can do. You can decide what kind of filters you want. If you only want to apply for a particular state, then you can do that. Particular region, if you want, you can only do that. Or if you want to check something else. So let's remove this. Actually, let me open up a new sheet. I'm going to open a new sheet, and over here, I'm going to add year by, order date. So I'm going to add order date over here, and I'm going to add profit over here. So this will show me a profit based on the particular dates. So this will show me the profit on these particular dates. So I can choose what kind of particular date I want. Do I want a quarterly profit? Do I want to see my yearly profit or my daily profit, etc.? Now there are 2 types over here. There's the discrete one and continuous one. I'm not going to go into it, but understand that discrete is basically counting each and every one, but continuous, you count even those things that are not there. Just a basic understanding. So I'm going to save this over here. If you want, you can differentiate this based on category. So if I add category over here and I put it in color, you can see that different categories give different outputs. You can see technology gave a lot of output. Or if I put yearly, you can see technology gave the most output over here, most profit. So now I'm going to save this sheet over here. I'm just going to open another sheet, and I'm going to explain to you how you can work with world maps. So I'm going to double click on latitude and longitude. So this will basically give me a world map to work with. And here I can choose which states I want. This is a data set based on American data, a superstore in America. So it will show you all the states and location of everything in America. So what I can do is I can take the states. So let me go back to my location. And in location, you can see cities and countries. So if I put a city over here in your marks section, you can see that there are no cities being showed. And it's showing me 530 unknown. This is because I was setting, like if you download it from India, or if you download from some other country, then it will show you India. It won't show you the particular correct location. It will show you that it's not able to understand. So you can set it to United States if you're working with the data from United States, and then you can press on OK. And then you can see all of the cities that have been marked over here. Let's remove it. So to remove it, you can just drag it outside and remove it. Same with this thing also. I'm not going to remove it, but now let me show you a little bit more colorful one. So I'm going to add state with color. So if I add a state with color, you can see all the different states here with colored. Now let me add that as a filter, all of it. Okay. All right. So let's let this be. Now let's learn how we can create dashboards. Now there are 2 ways. You can just click on here, new dashboard, or you can come back and click over here, new dashboard over here. You can put your first sheet in, just drag it and put it here. Then this is a tiled sheet, so let's remove it and let's make it floating, so it's much easier to work with. Then you can add the second sheet over here, then you can add the third sheet over here, and these are the only sheets we've made, so I'm going to leave it be. You can remove them, edit them according to your needs. You can make them more beautiful. So as you can see, there is a lot of editing potential over here and make it more beautiful. Mine is not very beautiful at all. It is just to show you guys how it works out. So this is somewhat of a dashboard you can create, and then you can filter them based on each other also, but that goes into more detail. And I'm going to give you this assignment. Do this by yourself, try it out, see if you can work with it or not, learn a little bit more. Okay, so that was it for this demo, guys. Now I'm going to come back and tell you guys about further learning. So for further learning, what you can do is you can watch our YouTube channel. We provide a lot of content on Tableau. So if you're looking to become Tableau developer, you can definitely become a Tableau developer by following our courses. Now we have some limited content on YouTube also, but it's not the complete thing. You won't have the instructor-led experience or the projects and everything. So what you can do is you can visit our website at intellipaat.com, look up Tableau courses. So this is the Tableau training and certification course. This is a very good course. It will help you out with a lot of things. Like you have multiple different avenues to take also. You can take a self-paced course if you're into just learning by yourself. You don't want to have the peer pressure. Or if you're the kind of person who works on a very good with instructors, then you can go ahead and choose an instructor-led training also. Basically, instructor will help you out with Tableau. He will teach you all the specifics of it and everything. Now, what we do here with the course is we allow you to either take self-paced or instructor-led, and we give you material to study with it also. And as you can see here, the different topics we teach. So about the certification course, you can see what will you learn. We will have an introduction to Tableau architecture. We'll go into more depth. We'll work with Tableau dashboarding, implement data blending, aggregation, data visualization, real-time analytics, Tableau generated fields, special fields, connecting Tableau with R. See, as you can see, there are a lot of different concepts that you can learn easily with our course. And you can, basically, if you have this basic understanding and if you worked with a lot of projects over here, then you can go ahead and apply as a Tableau developer and earn that salary that you deserve. If you guys want to contact us, you can go ahead and contact us at the number we're going to give at the end of the session. And we will get back to you. All this, our sales team is working very hard. If you contact us right now, you can even get a discount. Now, if you guys remember when I was talking about a promise I gave you, like something surprising. So the surprise here is we're going to give you a YouTube 30 code. Now, some of the regulars know that we do give this out with live, but this is a very good code over here. You can use YouTube 30 with a lot of our, almost all of our courses and get flat 30% off. Can you imagine? Flat 30% off. So you can go ahead and use this and buy our course. And I'm letting you know that our courses give you the full experience. It'll teach you from the start, choose what you want, instructor-led or self-paced, and then you can become a Tableau developer for yourself. All right, guys. I hope you really enjoyed my session. I hope you understood everything. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. If you want to contact us, the number is on the screen. You can, for India and US, and you can write to us at mail also. And we have a 24/7 chat, so you can talk to our course advisor. We do provide a free session with our course advisor, so you can just talk to him, understand what you want in life, or what kind of career you want to choose. Then go ahead and take that career choice, because you deserve the best. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching the live. I'll see you guys next time.